Okay, this is Linda Geiser again, and we're sitting here ready to collect lichens for elemental analysis. So let me show you what you've brought with you to the field. First of all, you're keeping everything in its own bag, clean and in one place. We have gloves for collecting. These should be latex gloves or nitrile gloves that are unpowdered. And the clean gloves should go in a clean Ziploc bag and should be untouched. So they just go right from the box using a glove into the bag. And they stay clean in this bag all the time. And then some tape. In this case, I'm just using painter's tape that you can buy at the hardware store. That's about an inch. Or an inch and a half or 2 inches. And then we have our collecting bags, and we use these metallized plastic bags for our collecting, but there are lots of different types of sampling bags that will be just as adequate that you can use. But you need something that will hold, well, something that would be, let's say, at least that big. So I'll put that out. And then you need some Ziploc bags or something to put your sample in when you're all done. A scale, and I like to use a Pasola spring scale. And this one is 100 grams. And that way you can weigh your bag and you know how much you've already collected, so you can stop when you have enough. And a marker so that you can label your sample, a very important step. So when you're ready to get started, what you should do is you should find a place on your plot that hasn't been trampled, that is relatively easy to get to and open, like this spot here. And now you want to take out your sampling bag that you've kept nice and clean, and you want to take out some gloves that you're going to put on. So the principle here is that you're trying to collect samples without accidentally contaminating them yourself with things that you brought onto the plot. And the thing to keep in your mind is, if you're looking at metals, a lot of times you're looking at parts per million, so that's a very low concentration. So if you've been handling a bunch of metal, been opening, closing car doors, probably don't want to touch your samples. So a way to keep your samples unaffected by the collecting process itself is to wear gloves. So what I do when I'm ready to get started is, actually I keep all this stuff in its bag so it doesn't get lost. What I do is I take out a bag that I want to use for sampling. And I put it down on the ground. And then I'll take out a glove. And it's pretty important that you don't stick your hands inside the glove bag, because that defeats the purpose of using clean gloves. You want to not touch the gloves at any point. So what I do is I just will bring my gloves up to here and pull out one by the wrist like that. Put it down. And then I'll put my gloves away like so. Okay, so now to put on the glove, just hold it by the wrist. And it's very tempting at this point to see better, to bring it really close to you, and then the wind will start blowing it against your clothes. So you want to make sure you hold the glove out when you put it on. And again, this is all about protecting the sample, which is really different than what you normally think of when you wear gloves, which is you're protecting yourself. You're not protecting yourself, you're protecting the sample. So you don't want to touch anything that you brought onto the plot with a glove. You don't want to scratch your face or get out a pencil, or you can use your other hand to do that. So then what I do is I get my bag, and for me I keep a little line between what I touch with my hand and what I touch with my glove. So I'm not going to touch this bag any higher than here, and I'll use the glove only to touch the top. And I can also use the glove to handle the inside of the bag. So the inside and the top with the glove, the outside of the bag with the bare hand. And that's the easiest way to get started. You can crinkle or crease the bag a little bit so that you can hold it open. Now you're ready to go. I'm done.